Stephen Michael Crane, 23T701674FY.
Ready, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Morning, Judge.
Your appearance?
Good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Jeff McCarty, P42633, with behalf of Mr. Crane in person, standing to my right.
Mr. Crane, your
Good
name?
morning, Your Honor. Stephen Michael Crane.
Mr. Kazak?
Hey, Michael, please, after the people, Your Honor.
All right, what are we doing?
Well, Judge, we had a PCC last Tuesday. At that time, the discovery was not available. I requested it. The discovery came last night after hours at 5:33. It's paper discovery only.
That's all you're getting. I'm sorry.
Judge, there's body wear camera.
You're going to have to wait for that. This is a probable cause hearing.
I understand my client is entitled to effective assistance of counsel even at this level.
I understand, and
It's a
so
very
they can
significant
lay it on the
proceeding.
judge. You're entitled to paper discovery on this, on the domestic. And if there's something with a body cam, you're entitled to that for trial. Are you asking me to adjourn the case?
I'm asking you to continue, yes, to continue the exam so that I can properly prepare. And again, this came in after hours last night. It wasn't like I got timely paper.
You know what I used to do when I was a lawyer? I used to read them the day of, and I did felonies. I'm not going to adjourn this. I'm sorry. We're going to go forward.
Can I at least finish the record? There's also reports that are reflected in the body of this report regarding prior incidents that I believe to be prior false reports that are going to be, important for Your Honor's credibility determination. And I don't understand. I believe that to be good cause why the people should be allowed to.
All right, listen, I don't like it. They should be getting you the discovery earlier. When did you get it to them, Mr. Kazak?
Your Honor, I redacted it last night. I sent it to counsel after I got his email, and I redacted last night, sent to him last night, Your Honor.
I had another hearing this morning, Judge. I actually Zoomed from, your conference room. I don't think it's fair to Mr. Crane that I have to fly by the seat of my pants on a felony examination. It's just not right. And
How long is the report?
18 pages? And to the extent that, we've got the proper precautions in place and he's been ordered to stay away and that's been adhered to. We got a family law court presiding over the aspects of parenting time and custody. Every precaution is in place. He's adhering to his GPS tether.
I don't think you need the adjournment. I'll give you 1 week. You're going to try to get the body cams, but it's not going to be grounds for an adjournment or whatever else there is. But we're going to do it next week. So I'll adjourn it 1 week. I mean, it's an ongoing problem. I'm not going to deny that. It's an ongoing problem. It has been. They don't have enough resources. I don't. So I can do this at 10 next week. This will be in person. You got to give it to him quicker than that, Mr. Kazak. I know you're overwhelmed. I get it. I understand. But you got to get it to him before the night before. I personally, well, I'll just let it go with that. We'll set it for 10 o'clock in the morning. That'll be in person.
And just one last matter, it's my indication that, my understanding rather, that the victim is no longer residing in the property. She does need to stand by to get some personal effects out of there, but I'd ask you to modify the bond so we can return to his house.
Is that true, Mr. Kazak?
And Your Honor, I don't believe she's currently residing at the residence. We're going to ask, I believe she needs to return there to remove some additional property, but I think that can be facilitated today with civil standby from the police department, Your Honor.
Wait a minute. He wasn't to return to 32 Roerig. Who's living at 32 Roerig right now?
Nobody, Judge. She moved out.
Is that right, Ms. Duco? Yeah. Come on back up here. Come on up here if you would. Okay, your name? Did you move out of the residence?
Yes, I did. I just have some things left there that I would like to get.
Okay. All right, here's what I'll do. Give me a bunch. I have it. Yeah. Can you get all of those items out of there today, ma'am?
Yes, I can.
Well, you got a GPS tether on, right?
Yes, sir.
So that complicates things.
Yeah, that's why I have two daughters that go to review schools and they're uprooted with this as well. That's why I just would try to get some stability back for my children by going back to my house. So I didn't know if we could modify something with the tether unit or. Like I said, Your Honor, I am not here to cause any problems for you.
What's that?
I am not here to cause any problem for you, Judge. Whatever you can do, I
You're
appreciate
not
it.
causing any problems for me. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to handle this. Who owns the residence?
I rent, Your Honor.
You rent?
Yes, sir.
You're not on the lease?
No.
My concern here, frankly, is I don't want, did you spend any time you were in custody?
11 days, Your Honor.
How long did it take you to post the bond?
The day after I saw you, it was.
And you were in custody on that,
Yes, sir. And I.
which I've
within a half-
expressed is completely inappropriate. I mean, it just is. So you're telling me the Wayne County Jail took 10 days or thereabouts to fix the GPS tether, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
I mean, it's just not right.
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
But here's my concern.
Yes, sir.
I start playing around with the tether now. You might find yourself in that predicament again. You might find yourself in that predicament again. So I'm going to suggest strongly that we leave the status quo as is until next Tuesday. Lisa, in the meantime, the prosecutor can provide you with the victim's address so that the tether unit can modify the tether requirement, because one of the conditions is he's not to be within 2 miles of the victim, her residence, or her place of employment. If I let him go back there, counsel, right now with that tether, there's going to be a violation. If I make him go downtown right now and get the bond terms modified, the GPS tether modified, he might find himself in that predicament. This is beyond my control. I've expressed my displeasure with it repeatedly.
Well, I understand the concern and find it to be most unfortunate that that's the reality.
So do I.
But it apparently is, and
So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm keeping this bond in effect until next Tuesday. I'm hoping that the victim's advocate, your name, please?
Rachel,
You're the victim's advocate.
Laura is
Well, wait a minute. You're kind of the victim's advocate, right?
correct.
Okay, so I'm just hoping you guys can work with the tether unit. I'm asking you to convey whatever information about where she's going to be, because somehow it's got to get conveyed adequately to the tether unit so that he's not sitting in jail for multiple days while they try to verify where the victim is. That's the issue. If it weren't for the GPS tether, I'd let you go back there right now, or at least after today was my initial plan. This is, let me check something here. Yeah, and I don't feel comfortable without this in light of the fact that he has 2 priors, counsel. That's what I'm doing. I'm holding this, I'm gonna continue the bond as is. I'm gonna ask you to try to get with them and figure out a way so that this tether isn't, when he takes it down, isn't going to require him to sit in jail again. And I sympathize with you. It's not fair. It's absolutely not fair.
And Your Honor, there was one other concern that people wanted to address regarding a potential contact violation involving.
If he had contact, we're talking about a whole different ballgame now. You know he wouldn't have done that.
No, sir.
You're not suggesting the defendant had violated the no contact.
Yes, Your
Because the
Honor.
defendant violating a no contact on a third offense domestic violence would know that any judge between here and Tuscaloosa would have a big problem with that. So you're gonna put on evidence of this right now, or are you going to simply bring it up?
Your Honor, if the court would take evidence, yes, the plaintiff here.
Okay, who do you want me to hear from?
Your Honor, the people like to hear from the complaining witness in this case.
Raise your right hand, Ms. Duco. You solemnly swear or affirm under penalties of perjury, the testimony you'll give in these proceedings will be the whole truth, so help you God. I can't hear you.
Yes.
Okay, you gotta keep your voice up.
Okay.
I don't want you to be nervous. Prosecutor's going to ask you some questions. Defense is going to have the opportunity to ask you some questions, and then we're gonna go from there. Counsel, I'm gonna ask you to step back a second here, so defense lawyer and defendant can have a seat at the counsel table. Ma'am, why don't you have a seat at the witness chair here? Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. And good morning, Miss. How do you pronounce your last name? Is it
Duplo.
Duplo. Okay.
Yeah.
So my understanding is that you had that you currently your children go to a elementary school in the area.
My oldest, Sophie Duplo, she goes to Memorial Elementary.
Okay. And were you there recently picking up your child?
Yes.
All right. And did you see anyone there at the time you were picking up your child?
Yes, I seen his mother, Gail Crane. She parks on Ray Street in her white Jeep, picking up both of his children.
And you see, and what day was this?
Monday
And that's Monday of this week,
of last week.
last week. And did you see anyone else there at the time?
As I went to go around to skip the extra line on the backside of Memorial, Stephen is there driving, waving at me as if he could still find me.
Now you
Say that again.
His mother parks on Ray Street every day to pick up his children. I am on Coaster. I park at my mother's house. I walk up to the corner and my daughter comes to me. I see his children go to his mother. I walk back to my car, and as I go, I turn left, as she did that day too,
Who's she?
his mother. And as I go straight and I hit that stop sign, he's right there, just smiling and waving at me.
Now were you on the sidewalk at the time, or were you
Driving my car.
And now was he in the vehicle at the time as well?
Yes,
And now you say he, are you referring to Mr.
Crane.
And and how far was he away from you when he did that?
We went side by side cars.
And did he turn his whole body towards you and wave, or is it just?
I just seen a smile and a wave, and I didn't want to look any further.
And he was directed, and he waved towards you?
Yes.
And and was he driving at a slow rate of speed or high rate of speed at that time?
Just slow.
And Your Honor, I don't believe this time I have any further questions for Ms. Duplo.
Any questions?
Yes, Mr. Duco, you said you walked from your mother's house up to the pickup area?
Walk from my mother's house? Yes.
And then now, but you said that you were in a car when you encountered.
Yes, after the fact that I got my daughter.
Wait a minute, keep your voice up. I'm not understanding either.
Okay.
So you walked up there?
Beforehand, when you have to go pick up your children,
Right.
you walk up to the school and get them, and then you go back to the car with your child to leave. I was leaving.
I see. So you parked your car?
Yes, I had my car parked, and as I went to leave, as I got back in my car with my children, and I went to drive away, that is when I encountered Stephen.
Okay, and you don't dispute that Mr. Crane had a right to be there to pick up his.
No, he didn't.
But his mother was there that day.
His
correct?
mother was there on Ray Street.
And if
Yes.
she were to testify here in open court that Stephen wasn't in the area with her, that she would be lying?
Well, she passed right by him.
Okay, so she would be lying then, if that were the case.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, you don't know what he was smiling at or why
Me.
he was smiling? You.
Waving and smiling at me.
And that was last Monday.
Yes.
We had a hearing last Tuesday. Were you aware of that?
No, I'm not aware of anything. I wasn't told
You have a
anything
victim's
until,
advocate. You weren't aware that this case was up for hearing last Tuesday?
no, I just got a call yesterday saying that I had to be here.
Okay, and did you bring it to anybody's attention last Monday when it happened?
Yes, the Riverview Police.
Okay, to what, please?
Riverview, because that's where it
You made a
happened.
report?
Yes, I made a
Okay.
report.
I have nothing for the judge.
Excuse me.
In the car vehicle you were driving, have you had that vehicle for a while?
Yes,
Do you have the vehicle at the time you were initially in the relationship with Mr.?
it would have been after school, so it was around 3:50 to 3:55.
Okay, no, I meant,
Oh,
had you had the vehicle that you were driving for a while?
do I have it here?
No, at the time this happened, I'm just trying.
Yes, I have the same vehicle.
Okay, all right, and you had the vehicle when you were in a relationship with Mr.
Yes.
Duclos, all right. And is this, do you pick up your daughter on a regular basis? at
Every
school?
day.
Your Honor, I don't have any further questions at this time.
Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
You can step down, ma'am. Thank you very much. Do you have any other witnesses?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Do you have any witnesses your
I do
client
not.
wish to testify?
I'll call my client's mother, Gail, trying to stand.
Okay. Come on up here, ma'am. Right up to the witness chair there. I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm under penalties of perjury that the testimony you will give in these proceedings will be the whole truth, help you God.
Yes, I do.
Have a seat, please. Could you state your full name and spell your full name for my recorder, please?
My name is Gail Crane Atkins, Gail. Last name is CRAYNE-ADKINS.
Thank you. You can proceed, Mr. McCurry.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Crane Atkins, what is your relationship to the defendant, Stephen Crane?
His mother.
Okay, and you heard the testimony this morning of Ms. Duco, did you not?
Yes,
Okay, and you recall the circumstances last Monday when you picked up your grandkids?
yes, I pick him up every day
Okay,
because he's usually at work.
he's usually at work. When was Mr. Crane at work that day?
Yes, he was.
Was he with you or near you at the time you picked up your grandchildren?
No,
Did you see Ms. Duco when you were there?
no.
So as far as you're concerned, there would have been a factual impossibility for Mr. Crane to be there and smile and wave at Ms. Duco.
Well, I can't really say if he did or not, sir, because I was going towards 4th Street on Longsdorff after I picked up my girls. Because if you go on the school side, it's very crowded. So I go down the lane and come up Longsdorff to avoid the traffic.
Okay, but Mr. Crane wasn't there. Your son wasn't there.
He wasn't picking up the kids,
Are
no.
you-
Okay. You said he was at work?
He goes to work every day. I don't know, I'll never know what time he gets off.
But that day, that afternoon, you didn't see him there.
Not at the school.
I have nothing further.
Any questions, Mr. Kazan?
Yeah, and then you indicated that he wasn't there picking up his kids, but you don't know where he was at, would that be fair?
Well, I'm not understand.
You indicated that you said he was at work, but how do you know he was at work?
Well, that day I passed him because he was going, I believe he was going to his sister's house. She lives also in Riverview.
Okay, so you passed him when you were going to school or coming back from the school?
After I picked up his children.
You passed him going from the school then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is that a yes?
Yes, sorry.
And so it was nearby the school at that time?
On the back side of the school.
I have no further questions.
Anything else,
Your Honor.
Mr. Cardy?
No, Your Honor.
You can have a seat, ma'am. Thank you very much. Any other witnesses?
No, thank you. Your Honor.
Great. Do you have any other?
Call Mr. Crane, Judge.
Come on up, sir. Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm. You solemnly swear or affirm under penalties of perjury, the testimony you give in these proceedings will be the whole true self you've got.
Yes, sir.
Okay, have a seat. You can proceed.
Sir, you've heard the testimony this morning, have you not?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you
Yes, sir.
see Ms. Duco that morning?
No, sir.
You didn't smile and wave at her?
No, sir. I have not seen her since the day of this incident here, sir.
Okay. Did you have any reason to violate your bond?
No, sir,
You
not at
spent
all.
11 days in
Yes, sir.
custody.
And my kids are uprooted from this. I would not in any shape or form compromise this case, sir.
And do you believe Ms. Duco may know what to say or to do to get you into further trouble?
100%, sir. She was with me when I was going through some other stuff with my ex, and she was my witness, and she knows this unfortunately very well.
Okay, and so, and that day in question, you were en route to your sister's house?
I'd never even seen her. I got off work after my daughters were out of school. It wasn't even in the same time, like it was, I'm not sure exactly the time, but it was nowhere near Kayla, sir.
Nothing further.
Anything, Mr. Kazak?
So you were at the school, were you at the school on Monday, this past Monday?
No, sir.
Right, you weren't at the school?
No, sir.
You weren't nearby?
This Monday or the,
2 weeks ago.
no, sir, I
Wait
was
a minute,
not.
Let's slow down. Yesterday was Monday.
Yes, sir, that's why I was confused.
Slow down.
Oh, yes, sir.
A week ago yesterday, that Monday, were you anywhere near that school?
No, sir, I was not. My mother takes them every morning. This week I've taken my daughters because I started a little bit later, but I'm nowhere near Ms. Duclos. I've not saw her since the day of this incident, sir.
That's not the question I asked. Were you at the school where Miss Duclos picks up her children?
No, sir.
Not last Monday?
I'm pretty sure I wasn't, sir, because my mom picks them up every day, so I wouldn't be there.
When's the last time you went to the school to pick up your kids?
I don't pick them up. My mom does. I drop them off once in a while, depending on my work schedule, but I never there. I don't go to
When's the
school.
last time you went to school after school?
That's my point, Your Honor. It has been such a long time. My mother and my
It's a long
sister,
time.
months, Your Honor. Actually, probably since last winter. Because I usually work until around 5, 6 o'clock until dusk. In the summer, it's even later. And unfortunately, my work, I have sole custody of my 2 little girls, so I don't have the freedom to be able to accommodate that time schedule.
Okay.
And so, sir, you weren't anywhere near the school that afternoon?
I was driving through, not at the same time as school was letting out.
That's not what I asked. Were you at the school all that afternoon?
Oh, no, I was not at school at all. No,
You
sir.
weren't in the area by the school?
I'm not at school time, no, sir.
That's not what I asked. Were you at school, were you at near the area of the school at the time your children
No,
leave for the day?
no, sir. I would say, I don't know, at least a quarter mile away. And I wasn't even at the time of school getting out here, sir. It was
So you
after.
were a quarter mile away, and what time were you at? What time were you a quarter mile away at?
To be honest, I'm not sure.
Did you hear your mom say that she passed you on the way home from
On
school?
Sibley Road, at Sibley Road, where 4th Street is, at Sibley, my shop is on Sibley Road. I was coming down Sibley Road to go to my sister's house to get some of my clothing for today. And
Last Monday?
no, this was, I guess it was last Monday. No.
Last Monday, you were worried about getting clothes for
Well,
today?
because I never use my overnight, what's it called? Where the police come to the safe visit. I never use that. So my sister was getting stuff from me cordially as I needed it. And then I didn't have the shirt with me or my tie.
Go ahead, Mr. Kazak.
Judge, we had court last Tuesday.
No, I realize that. But we're talking about last Monday.
Right, for last
He-
Monday in preparation. for-
Okay, fair enough. Go ahead.
And so, how far were you away from the school at about the time your children get picked up at?
To be honest here, sir, I mean, I don't even recall the exact time. I never went close to the school. I would say at the closest, a quarter mile. And I don't even believe that would be 100% accurate, sir.
And so your mother's statement that she saw your vehicle at the backside of the school would be inaccurate, would that be fair?
Because Sibley Road is like
Just
the back.
answer his question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I said, so your mother's statement that she saw your vehicle at the back, near the back side of the school would be inaccurate?
Well, I mean, it would be, for her perception, it might be accurate on the backside of the school, but the distance to the school is not accurate. No, sir.
And so where exactly were you at the time your children get picked up from school?
I was at work and when they got out of school, sir. And then after the time, I'm not sure exactly the time, I was going down Sylvie Road, and it is the backside of the school, but I mean, there's a longevity of blocks that I was nowhere near the school. I'm sure the tether unit can verify that, sir.
And you're familiar with the vehicle that Ms. Duclos drives, that be fair?
Yes, sir.
Can you see Ms. Duclos' vehicle near the school that day?
No, sir, not at all. Like I said, I have not saw her since the day of this incident. I haven't seen her vehicle since the day of this incident, and I do not even look for her, sir. I have no reason to violate my bond. I do not want to go back to the county. I have no reason to put a hiccup in this, sir. Let alone smile or wave, whatever she said. I mean, that's just pretty immature, to be honest with you, sir.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
All right, anything else?
No, no,
You can step down. Thank you.
Thank you,
Any
Your Honor.
witnesses?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
no further witnesses. Well, short of,
I'm just asking if you have any other witnesses.
well, again, it would be from the tether unit verification to determine where he was last Monday. I think that would bear out that he was on Sibley Road, which I suppose in some people's understanding.
Get the victim in here. So I don't need any argument. I don't want the victim to, I want the victim to hear what I'm going to say, though. If you want to argue, you can argue. You want to argue? You want to argue?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
You want to argue? You
I
can
don't want to
argue.
argue, Judge.
I want you just to hear what I'm saying. Listen. If I was going to decide, you can shake your head up and down, side to side, scream and kick, do whatever you're going to say. If I was going to decide whether or not you waved at her and smiled at her, I would say you did. Don't shake your head. You are risking a lot. Because I'm serious about this bond condition. Very serious about it. You could lose $10,000, 10%. You could have that bond forfeited, and about $100,000, 10% bond would be set. I'm just telling you. I think you wait. I think you smile. Your mother herself, your mother, not your enemy, your mother, said she saw you when she was on her way home from school. I think this was a bond violation. I'm not going to forfeit your bond. But I want to reiterate, apparently I did not do a very good job the first time. I want to reiterate how serious I am about this bond condition. You're in deep water right now. I mean, you're presumed innocent, but if you're convicted of domestic violence third, you're going to have a big problem. And you're not going to make things any better by having any kind of contact. Ms. Duco, if he has any contact with you again, you contact the officer in charge. You tell him exactly what happened. He will then come in and he will swear out a bond violation. And then I will immediately revoke the release, forfeit the bond, and issue a warrant pending a hearing. And then you're going to have a big problem. I wouldn't go anywhere near the school. I told you not to be within 2 miles of her residence or place of employment. There is nobody, certainly not as intelligent as you, that would misunderstand that order. There is nobody that would start thinking it's okay to wave and smile and drive by somebody doing so. I'm telling you, I'm not going to take any action today. Next time, if there's anything like this, you're not going to be this lucky, I promise you. If you think 11 days was bad, the bond, I hope you have a lot of money because it will be high. She would have to have filed a false police report. Maybe she did. I'm not going to comment any further. But I'm telling you, I can tell when people are testifying. You like to go on. There's no doubt that I'm right about this. Don't do it again. Do we understand one another firmly and
Yes,
completely?
Your Honor.
Okay. All right, I'll see everybody here for the exam next week. This will be in person at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.